Good day, guys. Thanks for coming back. I'm just in the first shed, just going through my conibears, just seeing if I need to do any work on them, make sure they're all in good working order. So I also wanted to kind of touch base. Had a few guys ask me what I was talking about when I had said four-way triggers on the conibears. So basically, as you all know, obviously front and back, that's your two-way. Your side to side, that's why it's loose, and that's why there's play, because that's a side to side trigger. So I'll kind of show you how that works. So you just apply a little bit of pressure to the side and it fires. So it seems to work quite well on the Belisles. So I have the trigger configuration like that because that is how I run them. That's my personal preference on how I run them, because I run them in boxes for raccoon and for skunks. Now I always put it so the dog is to the bottom and the trigger is to the outside, so the box will be back here. I just seem to have less refusals when the animal's kind of head is right here and they can see through. They feel more comfortable to just kind of crawl through, thus setting it off. So the other thing I like about these Belisles is the safeties. I can move that safety wherever I want and it stays. Where my Bridgers, they're really loose, and if you turn your trap this way, the safeties fall off. So if you accidentally set your trigger off, you're going to get caught. Where these are going to stay. So I have to wire my Bridgers safeties to the coil here. The other thing I like is the kill bars. I think they close a little bit tighter. I'm not going to dry fire these traps because I don't dry fire traps, but you can see the kill bar here, how tight that is. This trap is in the fired position, obviously, but you can see how tight that is. And these ones are no different, just a bigger trap. They seem to work quite well. I really like the setup of the dog. It seems like everything is so much tighter and it works a lot better. Like side to side movement isn't there, front to back movement isn't there. So when an animal starts going through, he's already starting to disengage that dog. Now these are the 330s that I have. Again, these are Bridger. Better put that on there. So here's the safety. See how loose it is and whatnot, so I have to put the piece of wire on and then just wire them up, which is kind of pain. I have crimped these a little bit, which makes it a little bit stiffer to turn, but then you can't slide them down the arm of the spring very easily, so that's kind of a pain in the ass. But this dog setup is a little bit different. So, but with these, you can see how much play is in the actual triggers itself. So I'm not a big fan of that, because ideally with conibears you're trying to shoot for a zone 1 catch, and what a zone 1 catch is basically you just one set of kill bars right behind the skull. Your zone 2 is one set of kill bars right behind, well, between the skull and the front shoulder, so anywhere in the neck area. And your zone 3 will be from your front shoulders onwards. Granted, with these traps I've had a lot of what I'll call suitcase catches, and ideally that is not what I'm shooting for. I would rather have just 2 kill bars snap down and get the animal around the neck instead of a suitcase catch. I think it'll be a more efficient and a quicker dispatch. Simply because, like say on a beaver, if your back kill bars get them around the stomach, well, that stomach is a lot fatter than the neck, so there's not going to be as much pressure or torque on the back kill bars, say if they're around his neck. I would rather have just the 2 kill bars right around his neck and nothing in here slowing it down or stopping any kind of pressure exerted on the front bars. But for these Bridgers, like, I don't like that play in there. I'll try and set this off as a side motion. There, I'm binding, I'm tight. It won't. This one won't even fire, so I'd have to do a little bit of work to it to get it to fire. But you can see that I'm putting a lot of torque on it. And another thing is, like, this play. So we'll try and I'll try and set it off here. You can see how high those trigger wires are. and I'm going slow, so it's going to take a little bit longer. It would fire faster if a beaver was actually going through, but you can see how high those are. So I'm not a big fan of that. That's what's causing the suitcase catches, is because the animals are getting through quite far before they actually set it off. The other reason why, in my mind, that they're getting through that far before they set it off is just because of my configuration. That's why a lot of guys leave them as a V or as a single wire coming down, and then some will do 90 degrees, just because if the wire's lower, they're starting to disengage the dog sooner, I guess, and they won't get in as far. So, but yeah, with that, I thought I'd try to cover some of that. I use setters for all my conibears. I don't even piss around and try and set them by hand. This is a 220 Belisle. You can see same configuration, but so I thought I'd just kind of touch base with that, cover that. If anybody's got any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below. So like I said, I'm hoping to get rid of these this spring and get all new Belisle 330s. But okay guys, thanks for watching. I appreciate you coming back and tuning in. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribed. I'd greatly appreciate it. And thanks again. Till the next time.